Good evening from Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence, Kansas. I'm Brendan Dzwierzynski for our 580 Sports Talk Jayhawks instant reaction postgame as the Kansas Jayhawks end up winning by quite a sizable margin, 19 points, 88-69 over the Kansas City Roos. But down until the final moments of this game, I won't necessarily say this game was in doubt, but this game was a lot closer than many expected, than Vegas expected. In fact, KU favored by 26, some places 26 and a half points going into this game. They end up winning by 19. That's after UMKC, now Kansas City, had cut the deficit down to just 8 points in the waning moments of the game, forcing Bill Self to call a timeout on the KU sideline. And frankly, it was a low-energy effort up until that point. KU, when it had wanted to, and I'm using that phrase loosely, obviously the effort is there, the energy is there, things like that. Well, maybe not the energy, but the effort is always there. But it felt like a less energized game for this KU team. Consider what last week was like, last Tuesday night, in fact, against Eastern Illinois. KU, kind of a slump in that game. They only end up winning by 8 points, the lowest margin of victory KU has ever had against a team ranked somewhere in the 300s, according to KenPom. This game against a Kansas City team that is deep in the 200s, KU, again, energy level a little bit low. You look at the schedule, maybe you can explain that away. Friday was the UConn game. Tons of energy, tons of anticipation, excitement for that game, both for fans and players alike. So leading up to it, maybe you're a little bit tired, a little bit worn out. Maybe you're looking ahead a little bit for KU. Now for this game with Missouri coming up on Saturday, and after that UConn contest, maybe you're just worn out. In fact, Bill Self even said his team tired, worn out going into this game. They do end up pulling away, and KU looked as good as they've looked all game, and certainly over the last couple of days. During the final 4-minute stretch of this contest, they were able to put the pedal to the metal, put Kansas City away, and came away with their 8th victory of the season to improve to 8-1. A couple individual performances we have to get to in this one. We start with Kevin McCullar, who just continues to put up star performance after star performance for these Kansas Jayhawks. How about a new career high tonight? 25 points and an incredibly efficient game for McCullar as well. 25 points on 9 of 13 from the floor, 2 of 2 from the three-point line, and 5 of 5 at the foul line as well. So it's an efficient scoring night for McCullar. He did a great job on the boards, moving the ball around as well. 6 rebounds, 5 assists in the contest. It's been a superstar season so far for Kevin McCullar. And in the post-game press conference just a little bit ago, Bill Self gave some praise, some adulation to McCullar that, well, frankly, is about as deserving as anybody would possibly get this season. But the fact that he compared him to Jalen Wilson's step he took last year and the step that Ochai Agbaji made 2 years ago to both become All-Americans, certainly high praise for what Kevin McCullar has done through the first 9 games of this season. But as good as he was, Self also mentioning he wasn't even the best player in this game for KU, gave that adulation to KJ Adams, who again continues to just play phenomenal game after phenomenal game, even after he is dealing with so many different things off the court recently. He moved the ball incredibly well. He set a new career high with 6 assists in the game, had 7 rebounds, back-to-back games for 18 points for KJ Adams as well against UConn and then here against UMKC today. A couple other individual performances we'll touch on. Hunter Dickinson, 14 and 12, so the box score ends up looking fine. It was his 5th double-double of the year, and again, 14 points, you're not going to complain about that. 12 rebounds, game high, certainly not complaining there either. But it was a different kind of defense that UMKC tried to employ against him today. They were really trying to rough him up. In fact, in the first half, we saw a blatant and obvious flagrant foul against Dickinson that wasn't called initially, but eventually was upon review, where he just put 2 hands on and shoved down a player for the Roos, showing off some of the frustration. UMKC really tried to frustrate him as much as they could, the way they were guarding him, fronting him, being as physical as they could, trying to batter him to the point of just barely avoiding getting many calls against them. But in the end, Dickinson still ends up doing just fine. And because he was being guarded like that, and this was brought up by both KJ Adams, Kevin McCullar, and by Bill Self in post-game, because Dickinson was guarded like that, it opened up more of those opportunities for KJ Adams to score down in the post. Also, Johnny Furphy continues to get better and better every single game. He had 10 points off the bench in this one. The bench got a little bit more run in this contest. Not a whole lot of Jamari McDowell coming off the back end of the bench, but Nicholas Timberlake played a bunch in this game, especially in the second half. Still struggling to shoot the ball, made his first three-pointer, missed his next 4, however, in the contest. Parker Brown didn't do a whole lot in this game, came in after that foul, the flagrant foul against Hunter Dickinson, and a few sparing minutes the rest of the contest. But Furphy, again, best player off the bench for KU on the offensive end. His defense is slowly but surely coming along as well. This KU team will take anything it can get from anybody off the bench, and right now Furphy is the best option for this group. He continues to play well as this season continues on. Not a whole lot you can take away from this game for KU. They've got a big one coming up on Saturday, though, the renewal of the border war as Missouri, the Tigers, come to Allen Fieldhouse for a big game, 4:15 tip-off right here at Allen Fieldhouse coming up on Saturday. But Before we get to that rivalry matchup, one final time from Allen Fieldhouse tonight. It's the Kansas Jayhawks taking down the Kansas City Roos, 88-69, ahead of the border war coming up on Saturday. We'll talk all about this game and all the other action from around the area coming up on 580 Sports Talk on Wednesday. That includes another overtime win and a thriller for the Kansas State Wildcats over Villanova. We'll talk plenty more Chiefs and a whole lot more coming up on 580 Sports Talk Wednesday from 2 until 6 on 580 WIBW and on the the 580 Sports Talk, YouTube account, where you might be watching this right now. Until then, though, I'm Brendan Dzwierzynski. KU beats Kansas City 88-69. We'll see you on Wednesday for 580 Sports Talk.